Today we are going to discuss about food components in 7th class. What is the name of lesson now? Food components. Before going to discuss about our food component lesson, already in the previous class, in 6th class, we have already learned food. What do you food materials eat? What are the ingredients do required making of food? Biryani or pulihora, any food item do you like? Already you have know that in previous classes. For example, how to make biryani. For example, how to make biryani. Which type of ingredients do you require? Tell me. Which ingredients do you require to making biryani? Like spices, rice, meat, oil. For example. These are all ingredients to make biryani. What are the components are there in a food item? What are the components are there in a food item? Which food item? Biryani. In biryani, which components are there? Do you know in biryani which components? In biryani, which components in biryani, which components are there? In biryani. Do you know that? I will tell. Please note down in your notebooks, ma'am. What are the food components? First, carbohydrates. These are all food. Number 2, proteins. Number 3, fats. Number 4, minerals and vitamins, etc. Okay, ma'am? These are all components of food. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals and vitamins. These are all food components. Which food item contain these components? Do you know? Which food items contain food components? Sources of food components as shown in the table. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates function is it will give energy to the body. Sources of carbohydrates shown in the table, ma. Carbohydrates present in rice, potato, wheat, sugar. Next, fats. Another source of food component is fats. Fats function is gives more energy compared to carbohydrates. Okay, ma? Fats function is it will gives more energy compared to carbohydrates. Next one, sources of fats. Fats presents in butter, ghee, milk, cheese. Are you able to follow me, ma? Sources of fats is butter, ghee, milk, cheese. Next one, vitamins and minerals. This is another component of food. Vitamins and minerals function is it will gives required for normal growth and development. Another source of vitamins and minerals function is it will give required for normal growth and development. Sources of vitamins and minerals. It's present in fruits and vegetables. Vitamins and minerals, it's present in fruits and vegetables. And proteins, the nutrient of proteins. Proteins function is it will give helps in building and repair of food. Helps in building and repair of our body. Sources of proteins: milk, eggs, meat, fish, soya bean, etc. Students, I will ask again another question. Draw some food items in your notebook. What? Now, do activity 1. List out food components. All of you observe the given packet. This is a kismis packet. This is a kismis packet. What are the food components are there in it? What are the food components present in it? List out them in your notebooks. List out them in your notebook in table form. Okay ma? I will draw in a board table form. You will also draw in your notebook. Table. You have to draw like this in your notebook. You have to draw like this in your notebook. First, note down serial number. Note down serial number. Food item name. Food item name. Components names. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals and others. List out in your table form serial number, food item name, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals and others. You have to take some food packets in your home. List out them. What are the components are there? What is the number of component? You have to write down in your notebook. Compare all the food packets. Which food items commonly you have to see in your food packets or any item by in your home. Any food item in your home. List out them. I say total energy in this green kismis packet. Total energy 578 kilocalories. Total energy 578 kilocalories. Carbohydrates 20 grams. Carbohydrates 20 grams. Food item name is green kismis. Green kismis. Proteins 21 mg. Fats. We have no fats in the saturated fat 4 grams. Saturated fat 4 grams. vitamins and minerals in 12 grams, 20 to 40 milligrams. These are all 12 grams. Others, monosaturated. These are all others food component. These are all 2 grams. This like. Okay. You have to try to in your homes gather all food packets. Try to which component are there in your food packets. You have to note down in your notebook. Okay, ma? Presence of food components. How to confirmation of food components? Take some samples. Some samples. I will take 1 potato, milk, oil. I will test these materials. Confirmation of food components. We have to need some chemicals also needed to test with food components. Some chemicals also need to test with food components. What type of chemicals we have to need? First, you have to test for starch. Already you have know that food components, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and also water and fibers also. These are all components of food. Today, we will discuss about the test for starch. Test for starch. Activity, test for starch. How to test starch in the substance? How to test starch in the substance? We have to given, I also take 1 potato or rice. These are all tested with starch. First, you have to prepare iodine solution. First, you have to prepare iodine solution. How to prepare iodine solution? Take iodine pellets, potassium iodide pellets. Take potassium iodide pellets. Now, then we have to require materials: test tube holder, test tubes, potassium iodide pellets, water, plate, dropper. These are all required materials to this experiment. Okay, to this activity also. To test for starch, the materials required are iodine solution, distilled water, iodine solution, distilled water, sample substance, whatever may be sample substance. Like oil, potato, milk, etc. Whatever may be sample substance. Test tube, etc. Required materials to this experiment. First, take a test tube and take a iodine solution, some adding with distilled water till it becomes yellow and brownish color, and then take a sample substance in a test tube. Whatever may be, we have to take a sample substance in a test tube till it becomes blue and black color. It indicates given substance contain starch. This is the test for starch. How to test? Given substance whenever add with a iodine solution to turn blue and blackish color. It indicates starch presence in a substance. The yellow one is iodine solution. When you add rice powder into the iodine solution, it will turn to black or blue color. The second test tube. It indicates rice contain starch. Like this, you can test yourself with starch containing foods like potato, wheat, bread. I am going to discuss about another component of test for fats. Another component of fat. How to test fat? How to test fats in the given sample? How to test for fats? How to test for fats? We have to follow these instructions. Take a sample givens. Take a sample givens. This is milk. This is oil. Whatever maybe you have to take sample substance. Take a sample substance first. After we have to rub on a piece of paper. We have to rub on a piece of paper. I take oil. I take oil, rub on the piece of paper. Okay. And also I take milk also. I take milk also. Gently rub on the piece of paper. Gently rub on the piece of paper. Gently rub on the piece of paper. What will you observe? This is milk, this is oil. First, take a sample substance and rub on it piece of paper. This is a milk, this is a oil. It turns paper when it's translucent of the paper, it contains fat. When it turns translucent of the paper, it contains fat. What is the material it turns translucent? Oil. Okay, oil. Oil contains fats. This indicates which substance turns translucent on the paper. Which substance? Oil. Oil contains fats. Oil contains fats. Recall your past experience. Whenever to take vada or other food items, the paper will turns into translucent. This indicates the food material contain fats. Why did the paper turns translucent? Why did paper turns translucent? The substance contain fats. That's why the paper turns translucent. Whenever the paper turns translucent, it indicates the food substance contain fats. Okay. Students, I ask one question now. I am a component of food that makes paper translucent. Who am I? You know that. You write in your notebook. I will ask again. I am a component of food that makes paper translucent. Today we are going to perform an activity test for proteins. To perform this activity we need copper sulfate. We need copper sulfate, sodium hydroxide, test tube and some substance. Now we are test with protein. I am going to take some substance. What is the substance? I take milk in a test tube. In a test tube. Some amount of milk in a test tube. Some amount of milk in a test tube. And then add a few drops of copper sulfate. This is copper sulfate solution. I am adding into test tube a few drops. A few drops. Shake it once. Shake the test tube once. Children, what will you observe in the test tube? You have observed the color will change. Now add slowly sodium hydroxide solution. Now add slowly sodium hydroxide solution. What will you observe in the test tube? The solution turn purple or violet color. It indicates the substance contain proteins. Which substance I take? I take milk. Milk contain proteins.
Let us discuss in detail experiment for starch, protein and fat.
Test for starch, protein and fat. In this module, you will learn to test the presence of starch, protein and fat in food items. One should have milk in his diet because it is a complete food. But what is meant by complete food? Complete food means the food that contains all the required components of food such as carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, etc. Milk contains almost all of these required components, so it is a complete food. Let us conduct an activity to find out the presence of components of food such as starch, protein and fat in different food items. To conduct this activity, you need a few potatoes, pulses in powdered form, crushed cashew nuts, a knife, a dropper, a candle, a matchbox, test tubes, iodine solution, copper sulfate solution, caustic soda solution and water. Let us first test the food items for the presence of starch. Take 4 test tubes. Now mark them as A, B, C and D and place them in a test tube stand. Cut a small piece of potato with the knife and put it in the test tube A. Take a little quantity of powdered pulse and put it in the test tube B. In the test tube C, Add a few pieces of crushed cashew nuts. In the test tube D, add a little amount of water and label this as control. With the help of a dropper, add few drops of iodine solution in each test tube. Now wait for 1 to 2 minutes and observe. What do you observe? The potato piece in the test tube A turned blue-black. You can also observe that no change has occurred in the test tubes B, C and D. Starch reacts with iodine solution to give a blue-black color. The test tube containing potato showed blue-black coloration. This confirms that potato contains starch. Let us now perform next activity to test the presence of proteins in the food items. First, take 4 test tubes. Now mark them as A, B, C and D and place them in a test tube stand. Now, similar to the first experiment, put a piece of potato in test tube A, a little quantity of powdered pearls in the test tube B, and few pieces of crushed cashew nuts in test tube C. In the test tube D, add a little amount of water and label this as control. Then add few drops of water in each test tube. Shake all the test tubes well. Now, with the help of dropper, add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution and few drops of caustic soda to each test tube. Again, shake all the test tubes well. And wait for a few minutes. Observe the change in color in all the test tubes. This time you will observe that in the test tube B, the color of the food item changes from blue to violet. But why is it so? This is because proteins give violet color on reacting with copper sulfate and caustic soda. Hence, we conclude that pulses contain proteins. Pulses are a rich source of proteins. Let's conduct a test that confirms the presence of fat in food substances. Take 4 pieces of paper. Mark these pieces as A, B, C and D respectively. On paper A, keep a small potato. On paper B, keep powdered pulses. On paper C, keep crushed cashew nuts. Do not keep anything on paper D. Wrap each food item in its respective papers and crush them properly. Now straighten the papers and remove the food items from them. What do you observe on the paper pieces? Let us see. There is nothing on the paper A and paper B. There are some peculiar patches on the paper C. No, there is nothing on paper D also. Let us find out more about the patches on paper C. Are these patches oily? Light a candle and hold it against the light. What do you observe? A very faint light passes through the oily patch. An oily patch on the paper confirms the presence of fat in food item. Therefore, we can conclude that cashew nut contains fat. In this module, you have learnt that food items contain some essential components. For example, potatoes contain starch, pulses contain protein, cashew nut contains fat.
Today we will discuss about ruggages in some food items. Ruggages in some food items. Ruggages means fiber structures. Fiber structures which contain ruggages, which contain food also found ruggages like beans, sweet potato, bitter gourd or bottle gourd, ribbed gourd, or other bunch of beans also contain ruggages. These are all to take in your hand or bowl. The vegetables, to crush them, do you find some strand structures and thread-like structures you have to observe in this activity. What are these strands called? What are these strands called? These strands called ruggages. How to helpful ruggages in our body? How to ruggages in our body? Ruggages helps easily movement in the digestive tract. Easily movement in the digestive tract. And also avoid constipation. And also avoid constipation. These are very important component of in our daily diet. So we have to take in our daily diet. We must and should we have to present in our daily diet. Fibers also present in our daily diet. So in our daily diet we have to take fibers also. So sources of ruggages. Already you have know that which type of vegetables and fruits ruggages are there. Apples, sweet potato or plain potato, pumpkins, papayas, like bran, like berries, palak, apples. These are all contain ruggages. So we have must take these type of all vegetables and fruits. Vegetables and fruits. So we have don't take peel out in our vegetables and fruits. Why? Because of to avoid constipation and easily digestion also. Nowadays farmers used pesticides in their fields. So we don't take directly, we don't use it. That's why wash with salt water. Wash with salt water. to avoid these dangerous chemicals into our digestive tract. So we have to must wash with salt water thoroughly. So it becomes safe to eat. So children, today we are learn ruggages, which type of vegetables, which type of fruits contain ruggages functions, which type of diet we have to take, what are the helpful in our body to take. Top high fiber foods in a fruits: raspberries, pear with skin, apple with skin, banana, orange, strawberries, dried flax, resins. Explain what will happen if you don't take ruggages in our daily diet. Water. Water is also essential component of food in our daily diet. So we must take plenty of water. Water is very best friend of in our body. So which type of food or which type of vegetables we have to take plenty of water? You know that cucumber, keera, watermelon, apples, papaya, these are all very plenty of water in it. So we must take these type of fruits and vegetables we have to take. Okay ma? So in summer we have to take these type of fruits. Why? Our body gets dehydration. That's why we have reconstructed in our body. That's why you have to take plenty of water. Which type of fruits? Watermelon, papaya, oranges, cucumber, keera. These type of fruits we have to take. Water is very essential for us. Why does we need take water? What is the need of water in our body? What will you observe in this picture? You will see fruits, vegetables, rice, chapati, pulses, beans and dairy products. Which means fruits contain vitamins and minerals. Vegetables also. Rice and chapati contains carbohydrates. Pulses and beans contain proteins. Dairy products contains fats and proteins. The food that contains all the nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals in a proper proportions is called balanced diet. Everyone requires a balanced diet. Students, today's homework. Prepare a balanced diet chart, whatever you eat at your home, and check whether it is balanced diet or not. Suppose if you are not taking the balanced diet, you need to take today onwards. If you are taking balanced diet at your home, well and good. And educate your parents and neighbors about balanced diet. Why? Because India is facing malnutrition and vitamin deficiency, especially in girls.
Healthy food and junk food. Children, our today's topic is healthy food and junk food. In healthy food, we'll be discussing about fruits. They come in different colors with different taste. We all have our own favorite fruits. Vegetables, they also come in different colors, different taste. We like to eat some very much and some we don't like. But children, I would like to tell you, eating fruits and vegetables reduces the cholesterol level and contains antioxidants. They provide good immunity and gives freshness to our skin. They fight against the germs and the infections. They are rich in vitamins and minerals that makes you feel healthy and energized. They even support the growth of the children and makes them strong. So children, make it a habit to add vegetables and fruits in your diet. Now, in healthy food, we'll move on to the next one, that is pulses. They contain vitamins and micronutrients. They are incredibly rich in proteins, rich in iron, zinc, and they enhances good health and eyesight. Now, in healthy food, the next one is cereals. Children, you can see the example of rice, wheat, and maize. Adding cereals and whole grains food maintains the blood level, and they being high in fiber help with a healthy bowel movement and also keeps you healthy and checks your weight. Next healthy food is egg, fish and meat. Children, eating fish is very much healthy since it is rich in calcium, vitamins and minerals such as iron, zinc, etc. Egg. Eating egg is also very healthy, especially for the young children, to support their growth since they are high in protein, vitamin B2, vitamin D, B6 and so on, and minerals such as zinc, iron and copper. And eating meat also enhances your body. It helps in the bodybuilding also. Now let's move on to the junk food. So far, I told you about the importance of eating healthy food, and I even told you the different categories which we include in the healthy diet. Now we'll move on to the junk food. What do you mean by junk food, children? Any food that has poor nutritional value is considered as unhealthy food or junk food. Such food are usually high in fat, sodium, and sugar. Why junk food? Even after having so many demerits, why still we go behind this? The reason is it is easy to cook. It saves the time. It's ready to eat. It's easily available. It's very tasty and comes in attractive packaging. Let's discuss about different junk foods, children. Burger. Very yummy. Now let's move on to the another junk food example. Cold drinks. You all like to have cold drink, isn't it? Yes, it's very sweet and you find the taste so interesting that you often go for cold drinks whenever you go out for picnic or for any outing, isn't it? And for any party, this is the main thing involved. Next is water balls. This is basically a street food and normally we can have it. It's available easily. It comes with different taste. Next is chips. Everyone is so fond of chips. It comes in different packaging with different brands. French fries, chocolates, all-time favorite of everybody. Ice creams. We all love to eat ice creams. Isn't it, children? Yes, even I like to eat ice cream. Noodles. It comes in different forms like chow mein and various other types. Pizza. So cheesy and so yummy. Pasta. Very spicy and delicious. Now, children, let us discuss about healthy food versus junk food. Now, since you have seen the images of different healthy foods and junk foods which are easily available, now it's in your hand to decide which one is good for you. Okay, so after going through this differentiation, you will be easily able to identify into which group you need to follow more. I'm not saying not to eat the junk food at all, but I'm saying to control your intake of junk food. Always keep a check whether you are consuming in excess or not, because anything in excess will harm the body. So now let's move on. Healthy food. It gives you a fit and healthy body. Whereas junk food, it causes obesity and fatigue. Healthy food gives more energy to work and play. Whereas junk food, lack of energy is there. Healthy food improves the concentration. Whereas junk food leads to poor concentration. Healthy food helps in proper functioning of all organs, whereas junk food causes high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes because they have excess of sodium and sugar. So, children, now it is very clear to you what are you supposed to eat. If you are taking junk food also, make it a habit that you will not get addictive to junk food forever. Take healthy diet and in between you can consume the junk food also, but always keep a check over your consumption. Okay? Don't make it a habit that you will depend only on junk food as they are not going to give you a healthy body. I hope this video was very much informative to you all. Thank you so much. Do take care of yourself, eat healthy and stay healthy. Thank you so much for watching the video.